It was almost midnight. The sound of a rag scrubbing glass echoed softly through the empty diner. Outside, the streets were silent, sleeping under a blanket of winter air. Only the hum of distant traffic kept the night alive. Beneath the flickering neon sign, a young woman bent over a corner booth. Her hands were cracked from cold water, her eyes heavy with exhaustion. The world had gone quiet hours ago, but she stayed, cleaning tables that would soon be messy again, wiping away stains she didn't make, because this was all she had left. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet hearts that keep fighting when no one sees them, please like this video, share it with someone who still believes in good people, and subscribe to Soft Heart. Your support helps us bring more real and soul-touching stories to life. Her name was Clara, and 3 years ago, her world was full of light. She worked as a pediatric nurse, gentle, hopeful, the kind of person who made sick children laugh even when she was tired herself. She had a fiancé named Ryan, and an old mother who called her every night just to say goodnight. But one stormy evening changed everything. A car accident took them both, her mother and Ryan, in one cruel, merciless moment. One phone call was all it took to tear her world apart. The months that followed were slow and gray. Bills kept coming, but her strength didn't. She lost her job, her apartment, and finally, her will to keep trying. The light in her eyes faded into something dull and empty. When she found this late-night diner job, she wasn't living anymore, just surviving. Every night she cleaned until her back ached. Every morning she walked home under the pale streetlights, praying for peace that never came. The diner became her hiding place, a small corner of the world where no one asked who she was, and she didn't have to remember who she used to be. That night was colder than usual. The clock had just struck 12:03 when headlights swept across the diner window. A sleek black car pulled into the lot. A strange sight for that hour. Clara sighed and straightened her apron. Whoever they were, she'd serve them like she served everyone, quietly, politely, and unseen. The doorbell chimed. A tall man stepped inside, holding the hand of a small boy no more than 7. The man looked tired, the kind of tired that goes deeper than sleep. The boy's eyes were bright, full of curiosity and wonder. Clara greeted them softly and took their order. Coffee for the man, hot chocolate for the boy. In the kitchen, she could hear their voices, the boy whispering, the father answering quietly. Then a sentence floated through the air that made her stop. "Daddy," the boy whispered, "she has no one." Clara froze. Her hands trembled around a cup. For a moment, the world stopped. She blinked hard, turned away, but her chest ached as the words echoed inside her. 4 small words, innocent, honest, but painfully true. The man tried to hush his son, but it didn't matter. She had already heard it. When they finished, the man came to the counter to pay. He gave her a small, awkward smile. "I'm sorry," he said. "My son didn't mean to—" But before he could finish, the boy tugged on his sleeve. "Daddy," he said, "can we give her the cookies we made for Grandma?" The man hesitated, then nodded. The little boy held out a small tin box wrapped in a red ribbon. "They're for you," he said softly. "You look like you need them." Clara tried to speak, but no words came out. Her throat tightened. She just smiled, her voice breaking as she whispered, "Thank you." When they left, the doorbell chimed once more, and for the first time in months, Clara cried. Not because of the cookies, but because for one fleeting moment someone had seen her. That small act of kindness planted something in her heart, something fragile, something alive. Every time she wiped that same table, she heard the boy's voice in her mind. She has no one. At first it hurt, but slowly it became something else, a reminder. Maybe she wasn't finished yet. Maybe life still had something left for her. Weeks passed. Then, one snowy evening, the same black car returned. Clara's heart skipped. The door opened, and there they were, the man and his son. The boy ran in first, holding a small handmade Christmas card covered in glitter. "Merry Christmas, Miss Clara," it said inside. "You're not alone anymore." Tears filled her eyes. This time, they weren't tears of pain, but of something she'd forgotten how to feel. Hope. From that day forward, Ethan and Liam became regulars. Every Thursday, they came for dinner. They talked, they laughed, and slowly the color returned to Clara's world. Ethan told her he was a widower. He had lost his wife when Liam was 2. The grief had nearly broken him, too. Maybe that's why he had noticed her. The quiet sadness in her eyes was the same he once carried. One night, after closing, he offered her a ride home. They talked the whole way. About loss, about faith, about how hard it is to believe you still deserve happiness after you've lost everything. When they reached her street, he said softly, "You don't have to keep being alone, Clara." That night, for the first time in years, she smiled. A real smile, small but alive. What followed wasn't a fairy tale. It was something real. Friendship grew, then love. Not the kind from movies, but the kind that heals quietly, patiently. Liam adored her. He'd bring her drawings, save her cookies, sit by her while she cleaned. And somehow, the diner that once felt like her cage became her place of rebirth. Mrs. Langley, the old diner owner, often smiled as she watched them. "You've found your light again, dear," she said once. "Hold on to it." And she did. Months later, Clara moved into a small apartment near the park. She started studying again, preparing to return to nursing. Ethan and Liam helped her paint the walls, their laughter echoing through rooms that had once been silent. Life wasn't perfect, but it was full. And for the first time, that was enough. One spring evening, Clara returned to the diner, not as an employee, but as a customer. She sat in her old booth watching a new waitress nervously balancing plates. The girl dropped one, her eyes filling with tears. Clara stood up, walked over, and gently knelt beside her. She smiled and said softly, "You can start tonight." The girl nodded, her eyes shining. And in that moment, Clara realized something beautiful. The circle had begun again. The woman who once had no one had become someone else's reason to keep going. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that even one act of kindness can change a life forever, please like this video, share it with someone who needs a little light, and subscribe to Soft Heart for more stories that heal and inspire. Before we end, tell us in the comments, have you ever met someone whose kindness changed your life, even in a small way? We'd love to read your story. That night, as snow began to fall again outside the diner, Clara looked up and saw Ethan's car pull into the parking lot. Liam jumped out, waving, a small bunch of daisies in his hand. She smiled, slipped off her apron, and walked outside. The wind was cold, but her heart was warm. For the first time in a long, long while, she didn't feel invisible. She turned back to the diner, the place where everything began, and whispered softly, "I'm not alone anymore." And this time, she truly wasn't.